Good morning, Rainmakers. It's Priyan here from Rainway Realty. Today I'm going to discuss about understanding and being confident in your true identity, which will help you in society as a whole, but also in business. Now, the episode is basically going to be a very simple analysis of a few experiences I've recently had. Um, and how important it is to really be who you are, true to yourself, and understanding where you come from and what your morals and identity is in order to be the best self that you can, and also using far less energy in order to be that person because it comes natural to you. Um, it's really important to understand that society has a big role in terms of how you perceive yourself. And it's very difficult in this day and age not to be influenced by it. You've constantly got radio adverts, advertisements all around you talking about wealth, health, in a good way and a bad way. Because if you're not there, how you're going to get there may make you feel down. You feel like you see somebody doing something and that you can do that, but you follow their way of doing it rather than your own way because you feel like they're successful, so that you should copy them. But ultimately, I believe that if you are true to yourself, understand who you are as an individual, then life becomes so much more simpler because your energy, your focus, your self-worth is all encompassed in one simple scenario, which is natural to you. So hence you don't have to think about what to do or how to do it. You just do it in a natural, organic way. And as you learn to grow and become better and to fix the points of the things that you're not good at, or that you get too angry, or you overreact to a situation, and you learn to use skills and techniques to identify that and then change it, then you grow as an individual as well. So I'm not saying that you have to use your personality now just to be who you are. You can create yourself and become a better, more rounded person. But ultimately, your core beliefs and your core of who you are should determine how you conduct yourself in life with your family or in business. Now, an example of why this topic has come about is that my son recently has started school in Dubai. And of course, it's a very international community. And he is half Sri Lankan, a quarter German, and a quarter English. He lived in the UK up until he was 2 years old. And then from 2 till 6.5, he was in Sri Lanka. And that was during the COVID period as well, and then now he's in Dubai. Now in Sri Lanka, you do not, due to the COVID situation and the country, it has had an import-export ban. And so therefore, even though we couldn't get everything like a first world country, we were still quite sufficient. However, with the ban and stuff, and also being COVID, you couldn't just go to a shop and buy any toy that you want that you saw on TV. McDonald's was actually closed down, so the Mackie D's closed down as well due to supply chain issues. And so my son sort of grew up in a place thinking of Sri Lanka as something, it was a poorer nation. Now, ultimately, we taught him that, yes, it is a poorer nation. However, the beauty of Sri Lanka is the fact that it's simple. It's got beautiful beaches, nature, it's quiet, it's very calm. And those are the things in life which are more important than materialistic things of having an iPad or being able to go get an ice cream or even a chocolate that you like instantly. However, so he learned that his home also was somewhere where his family was, and he has actually lived in 6 homes since, and now he's 7. So you can understand that we were really happy that he had grown as a little boy to understand that. However, at the same time, now when he's come to Dubai, He has mixed with an international crowd and taken into consideration that most people in Dubai as well, Pakistanis, Indians, Sri Lankans, are all doing jobs which are considered maybe inferior: drivers, cleaners, maids, nannies. So as a result of that, he's now with the society of his friends, has not decided to, but he's a little bit embarrassed to sort of say Sri Lankan, and he sort of says his English, which sort of breaks my heart in a little way, because I'm a very proud Sri Lankan. Yes, I was born in England and lived in England most of my life. However, if you ask me where I'm from, I am Sri Lankan. I do consider the UK my home, and I love it to bits. But ultimately, I know that I'm Sri Lankan. So therefore, I try to be true to my roots and who I am. And therefore, when your son's sort of saying that he wants to be English, you sort of, feel like a dagger in your heart. But ultimately, I have to also learn, why is he thinking like this, and how do I educate him? Now, naturally, my old, younger self, I would have been like, gone in and, hammered him and said, this, you should be proud to be Sri Lankan. But I understand that that doesn't work like that anymore. And that bully system of trying to indoctrinate somebody and to try and make somebody believe something has to be done in a more softer and a more systematic way, especially for children. And likewise, when you're doing your viewings or dealing with clients, the same approach needs to be understood and taken in, because the old system and old ways of sales is totally different now. You have to understand your client, understand your person, i.e. my son, and then deliver the message in a way which is going to be taken with them thinking about what you're saying in a way where they're then making a decision ultimately by themselves, but influenced by what you said. Now, the outcome may not be what you want. However, ultimately, what's the most important thing is that they know that you're honest and trustworthy, because you're not forcing them to do something, you're sort of educating them. So likewise, when you're doing a viewing on a house, I always tell people, you can never ever sell a house to somebody, but you can educate them and show them what the benefits of the house are, according to what their needs were. And ultimately, if it comes down to it, taking them then to a property which satisfies all their requirements, but it's 10 million over budget. And you sort of say to them, well, in all due respect, we've looked at all the properties that are within your budget. However, if you want everything to line up, you are going to have to spend 10 million. I'm not asking you to spend 10 million, but I'm asking you and telling you that if we want to keep looking, this is how it's got to be. Now, back in the UK, I'm not sure about Dubai yet, because I have not worked here continuously in order to get deals through yet. But back in the UK, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of them, they found the extra money, or they did sacrifice or stop looking until they found what they wanted to do. So what the moral of that story is that you really need to understand your clients and how you deliver it to them, and understand your own personality, in terms of the fact that if you are somebody like myself who used to not be very empathetic towards people's feelings, not knowingly but unknowingly, and used to be like a bull in a china shop, or used to really sort of try and get them to buy in a certain way, then as I started doing sales at Foxtons, I realized that, this approach, which I've learned from my telesales marketing days, is about creating a situation and a process where you guide them through a journey in order to get the conclusion. Whether it be correct or not, you are funneling them in order to get an answer of a yes or a no, or starting the journey again with the new parameters. So how do you get to know yourself? How do you get to understand yourself? Because in society these days, we as adults even, we still don't really know who we are and what we are, because we're being dragged left, right and center in terms of trying to fit in with society, fit in with friends, fit in with a new country. And ultimately you need to sort of be honest with yourself and sit back and sort of reflect. How do you reflect? Yoga, meditation, self-reflection, journaling, goal setting. And so therefore, once you sit down and sort of get rid of all the noise, hence why those activities are taken into position, you then can really sort of sit down and ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? What do I resonate with? How do I feel as a human being? Uh, and as I'm even saying that to you, I get a joy and a tingle and goosebumps on me, because when you ask those questions of yourself, you're sort of really fulfilling your need as an individual to feel loved and to feel happy and to feel self-worth. And ultimately, as I'm saying it to you, still, I'm feeling goosebumps. You can see, you can't see my things, but it's just, I'm giving myself a hug. I'm saying to myself, it's okay. It's okay to be yourself and to love yourself and to be who you are, because ultimately, if I'm the best me, still growing, still trying to get better, I know that I can then not waste energy thinking what I need to say, who I need to say it to, why I need to be like this, and I can be honest to myself. And also then when I set up my business or I'm carrying out my work, I can then have the business running in the same way, with honesty, integrity, professionalism. And in this day and age at the moment, it's so important, especially in Dubai, anywhere in the world, to be fair, Sri Lanka, the UK, not as much, to have a clear goals of who you are, what you represent, making sure that either the company you work with or the company that you set up has the same goals and ideas and ethics as yourself. So therefore, then you will stand up 90% above the rest of the industry, because unfortunately, the authenticity and the ethics within this industry are not as clear cut and as professional as they could be, whether it be Dubai, Sri Lanka, or the UK. And so if you do that and you'll resonate, you will then get other people with the same energy and same vibes to do business with, and therefore be able to close deals more and to build a better bond. So in conclusion, the power of being true to yourself, being true to who you are personally and in business life, it will with ignoring the external pressures and not losing your values, will make sure that you are sort of identifying yourself and your company and the way you do your work and what you do in a way which will make you stand out. Number one, it will energize you. Number two, it will make your life much more simpler, and you will be happy and content. And in life, regardless of what you do, it's so important in anything that you can be happy and content and not have to think about society saying, oh, you need to get married, you're too old. Oh, you may be Sri Lankan, but you should act more British because of the fact that people look up to British people more than Sri Lankan. And really sort of understanding your roots and your values. So, Rainmakers, please work on that. I'm always working on it. I'm always trying to be a better person. But sit down and write on a piece of paper in the morning when you wake up, and be true to yourself, and then stick it up on a board, read it, believe it, and then carry that on through your activities during the day, with your family, with your work, and you'll see the change in your energy, how your anxiety goes away, and because of the fact that ultimately you're being true to yourself, and if you're true to yourself, you'll never ever 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 fail in life. Thanks, guys. Speak to you soon.